When you sit down to watch a game, whether it's football on a Sunday afternoon or a basketball game on a weeknight, you're probably thinking about the score, your favorite players, and the thrill of competition. Most of us see sports as an escape, a place where we can forget about our daily worries and just enjoy the action. But there's often another player on the field, one you can't always see: politics. It's been a part of sports for a very long time, influencing everything from where games are played to what athletes wear on their jerseys. It's like an undercurrent that shapes the world of sports in ways we might not even realize at first. This connection isn't something new. Think back to the Olympics, where countries compete not just for medals but for national pride. A gold medal can feel like a victory for an entire nation, a symbol of its strength and values on the world stage. Politics has always been woven into the fabric of these international events. Sometimes this relationship is simple, like a president throwing the first pitch at a baseball game to show unity and support. Other times, it's much more complicated, sparking debates and conversations that extend far beyond the stadium and into our everyday lives, changing how we view the games we love. The truth is, sports and politics are connected because they are both about people and community. Sports teams represent cities, states, and even entire countries. They bring people from all different backgrounds together to cheer for a common goal. Politics does something similar, just in a different arena. It's about how we organize ourselves as a society and the values we choose to live by. Because both sports and politics are so deeply tied to our identities and our communities, it's only natural that they would cross paths from time to time, creating powerful moments that we remember for years. You see this connection in the symbols that are all around sports. The national anthem before a game is a clear example. It's a moment that brings patriotism and sports together in a very direct way. The flags, the military flyovers, and the celebrations of national holidays at sporting events all reinforce this bond. These traditions show us that sports are not just games, they are a part of our culture and a reflection of our society. So while we may tune in for the incredible plays and the drama of competition, we're also engaging with a much larger story about who we are as a people. For a long time, many people believed in the idea that athletes should just shut up and dribble. The message was clear: your job is to play the game, not to talk about politics or social issues. But athletes are more than just players. They are citizens with opinions, platforms, and the power to reach millions of people. When they see something happening in the world that they believe is wrong, some feel a responsibility to speak up. Using their fame to draw attention to important causes is a choice that many athletes have made throughout history, and it continues to be a powerful force in sports today. We've seen this happen recently with athletes from different sports and with different viewpoints. For example, during the 2024 election cycle, some players were very open about their political support. Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris, using his massive social media following to share his choice. On the other side, Kansas City Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker not only shared his conservative views in a commencement speech, but also started a political group to support Donald Trump. These actions show that athletes are not a single group with one opinion. They have diverse beliefs just like the rest of the population. This isn't just about presidential politics either. Athletes have spoken out on a wide range of social issues. Think about the Black Lives Matter movement, when players across the NBA, WNBA, and NFL knelt during the national anthem to protest racial injustice and police brutality. This was a continuation of a tradition started by former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick. These athletes knew their actions would be controversial and that some fans would disagree, but they felt it was more important to use their platform to demand change. Their protests sparked a national conversation that went far beyond the world of sports. Of course, taking a stand can come with consequences. Athletes who speak out are often praised by some and heavily criticized by others. They can lose endorsements, face backlash from fans, and even receive threats. It takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there, knowing that your words could affect your career. Yet many athletes continue to do it because they believe they can make a difference. They see their platform not as a burden, but as an opportunity to be a voice for those who may not be heard, proving that the game they play is about more than just what happens on the field. While individual athletes are increasingly using their voices, the leagues they play for often face a difficult decision. Should they take a stand on political issues, or should they remain neutral? It's a tough balancing act. On one hand, leagues are powerful organizations with a huge cultural influence. Taking a stance on an important social issue can send a strong message and potentially lead to real change. On the other hand, their audience is made up of fans from all political backgrounds. Taking sides on a controversial topic risks alienating a large portion of their fan base and their business partners. In recent years, especially during the 2024 presidential election, major leagues like the NFL, NBA, and MLB chose to stay officially neutral. They focused their efforts on nonpartisan activities like encouraging fans and players to register to vote without endorsing any specific candidate or party. This strategy allows them to appear engaged in civic life without diving into the messy world of partisan politics. By promoting voting, they can position themselves as being pro-democracy and pro-community, which is a safe middle ground that is unlikely to offend large groups of fans or sponsors. It's a way of participating without picking a team. However, this wasn't always the case. In the years before, we saw some leagues take very clear political stances. In 2021, Major League Baseball decided to move its All-Star game out of Atlanta to protest a new Georgia law that critics said would make it harder for people to vote. Similarly, back in 2016, the NBA moved its All-Star game from Charlotte, North Carolina, to protest a state law that limited protections for LGBTQ+ individuals. These were bold, decisive actions that showed the leagues were willing to use their economic power to stand up for certain values, even if it meant facing political backlash. The shift back toward neutrality shows just how polarized our society has become. Leagues are businesses, and in a deeply divided country, taking a political stand can be bad for the bottom line. They have to consider their players, owners, sponsors, and fans, all of whom have a wide range of political beliefs. The decision to act or to stay on the sidelines is a constant calculation. It reflects the broader challenges that all major institutions face today. How to navigate a world where everything, including sports, can be seen through a political lens and every action is scrutinized. The growing connection between sports and politics is especially interesting when we look at women's sports. The year 2024 was a huge one for female athletes. We saw the Caitlin Clark effect bring record-breaking viewership to women's college and professional basketball. In fact, the women's NCAA final had more viewers than the men's final. New professional leagues, like the Professional Women's Hockey League, gave female athletes new opportunities and fair pay. At the same time, the Paris Olympics aimed for nearly equal participation between male and female athletes. This rise in visibility gives female athletes a bigger platform to speak out on issues that matter to them. This progress in sports is happening even as women's representation in some areas of politics has seen setbacks. For example, in 2025, the number of women in the United States Congress is expected to slightly decrease. This contrast is important. It shows that while one area is making great strides toward equality and recognition, another is facing challenges. The growing power and influence of female athletes means their voices on political and social issues, from equal pay to reproductive rights, can become even more significant. They are becoming major figures not just in sports, but in our broader cultural conversations about fairness and equality. So why does any of this matter to the average fan? It matters because sports don't exist in a vacuum. They are a reflection of our society, with all of its triumphs and its tensions. When an athlete speaks out or a league takes a stand, it forces us to think about issues we might otherwise ignore. It can start important conversations in our own homes and communities. It reminds us that the players we cheer for are people with their own beliefs, and that the games we love are part of a much bigger world. Sports can be a powerful unifier, but they can also highlight the divisions that we still need to work on. Ultimately, the intersection of sports and politics is about more than just who wins or loses a game. It's about the values we want to champion as a society. It's about representation, fairness, and the right to speak your mind. Whether it's an athlete taking a knee, a league moving a game, or a new generation of female athletes demanding their share of the spotlight, these moments shape our culture. They challenge us to consider what we stand for, both on and off the field. The game beyond the game is the one we are all playing every day, and sports, at its best, can inspire us to play it a little better.